I'm leaving my disabled boyfriend who saved my life at the cost of his own. 3 years ago, my boyfriend and I were walking down a wet and busy road on holiday in Thailand when a car swerved at a violent speed, trying to avoid a stupid biker stopping on his phone in the treacherous weather that it was. My boyfriend, being the quick-thinking man he is, saw my frozen, terrified body in the direct vicinity of the moving car, and he jumped in front of me, pushing me away from the impact at the same time. I was left with some nasty grazes, but other than that, I was fine. But my boyfriend took the hit and was left paralyzed from the waist down. He now lives life in his wheelchair. He has been diagnosed with PTSD from the accident and often has flashbacks in which he'll scream and sweat. He is distant and cold. His mental health is, to put it lightly, very bad. He spends most of his time on his PlayStation and we haven't been physically intimate for months. If he's not playing games, he'll be at the pub with his mates. He does powder with them. He says he can't enjoy fun time anymore. He says he doesn't enjoy fun time with being the way he is. I've tried to tell him I still think he's gorgeous and no attraction is lost. He doesn't believe me. He has gained about 4 stone and finds no value in healthy life choices anymore. I feel like I'm living with my best friend who I'm in love with, but like I'm in some sort of friend zone. He says I'm being paranoid. It's him, not me. He tells me he loves me. He has tried therapy. He has made an attempt to not do powder on the weekends. He doesn't want to do it. I have tried to encourage him to do both many times. He says he doesn't resent me. All of my friends talk about how lucky I am and how he loves me so much, but I think that's so messed up because they have no idea what it's like to be in a partnership with someone who is paralyzed. My feelings are just as strong for him as they are when I fell in love with him, but I can't do it anymore. I am exhausted. I will forever be known as the woman who left her disabled boyfriend after he saved her life at the cost of his own. Here are the top comments.
This is super sad.
Very sad. I understand both sides, but I really feel for the boyfriend. That night will be his biggest regret after she leaves. I'm assuming given his mental state.
Which would be kinda sad of him to have that mindset. Honestly, no matter what, she was still someone he loved, and she didn't make him make that choices. She was in a bad situation too, and he can't know what he would have done if the same thing happened to her. Don't get me wrong, he's in a terrible situation, and I think empathy for both is warranted, but only one person made a choices to set these events into motion and it wasn't her. So it's not fair to make her the bad guy. He needs to talk to someone that has experienced the same situation as him and their journey of the trials and tribulations. Find someone who's in a wheelchair paralyzed for him to talk to.
The only good advice, maybe a support group too.
How about a compromise where you communicate that this is where your head is at?
I have. Maybe I should have mentioned. I gave him an ultimatum and nothing changed. Apart from what feels like false compliments and quick trips to his parents, I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, like, okay, at least he's trying. It will get better with time. Instead, he just went back to how he was before. I left him for 2 weeks as a last ultimatum, to show him what it would be like without me. I came back to a house with empty beer cans all over the kitchen, evidence of DUs, and 2 of his friends sprawled out across the sofa. One day he said, I can't protect you anymore. I think he feels emasculated and unsure as to how to navigate the relationship. One of his favorite things to do was skate. His life has changed dramatically. I think he's fallen out of love with life and ultimately out of love with me too.
I can't imagine how difficult this situation is. I am so sorry. I have no idea, but maybe he is trying to push you away purposefully, to be able to save you again from what he considers is incapable to protect yourself. Best of luck.
Yes. He often says that he doesn't want to hold me back. I just wish he would believe me when I tell him that there's nothing more I'd like to pursue than a future with him, just not when he's this version of himself. I understand that these things can vastly change a person. I'm not saying I think it's easy for him. He is a good man. Life is so unfair and he didn't deserve any of this.